All right, part 2. All of our drawings are dry. So now we are going to add stuff. We're going to start with the green one so that it has time to dry in between stages. I've got my mixing tray and my paint. Over here, I'm going to start adding in, we're going to do some mountain ranges. The lighter a mountain is, the farther away from you. The darker it is, the closer it's to you. So I'm going to take some green and some water. I'm going to get this onto my plate so that I have a decent amount of green to work with. Rinse, rinse, rinse. I'm going to go get a little bit of black. I'm just going to put it over here. Okay, so I'm not mixing it in yet. Rinse, rinse. I'm going to get just a tint of black and put it into my green. Barely any different. I'm going to make sure that my green has a nice washy feel to it. And I'm going to put some mountain range in here. So just some zigzags. It's going to cross over across my sunshine, right? Maybe I want this one to be taller and this one to be shorter and wider. And then I'm going to come downwards. All right, get some more water on my brush. And I'm filling in my mountain range, just pulling the color from the tops of the mountains down into the rest of the picture. If I run short on green, get some more, put it on my plate, get some more water. I want to keep these nice and light. You'll notice they're not thick. They're really light and washy. If they get too heavy, add more water, right? And just run back over them so that they're super light. Okay, so there's my first layer of mountains. I'm going to take some more black from over here, right? I'm going to run it into my, mix it all together now so I have a deeper green. Might even add just a touch more. There we go. So I have a dark, dark green now, but not black. Does not look like black at all. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a dark green. And now I'm going to put another little mountain range right in front of that. So I'm going back over these. You're going to notice that you get a bit of a fuzzy edge as you do this, right? Because the paper's wet now. And I'm going to pull these down. And it's okay if my mountains are a little fuzzy. We can always touch that up later if we need. And that's probably good enough. If I want a little bit more of an edge on this mountain, I can just come in here with some straight paint. Just put a little bit of an edge on there and then pull that back down. I don't want it to overtake and be a comic book outline. Just lost a little bit of my mountain as I did this. Okay, so there's my mountains. Now we're gonna move on to our orange painting, which is a very similar painting. So we're gonna do some mountains over here, just so we get some mountain practice. I'm gonna get some orange. I'm gonna put that in another spot on my plate. Get some more water here. Now this time I'm gonna use some brown. Brown already has a nice orange tone to it in our mix here. So instead of black, I'm using the orange. I'm gonna put a little bit in there to keep my brush nice and wet, and I'm gonna lay in my faraway mountains. You could create more of a hill scene if you want, just by rounding them out a little bit more, right? And I'm gonna fill in that spots down below, so I'm just gonna brush this in. Need some more orange. And I'm gonna bring this down into the rest of the painting, filling in my background. This time, we're gonna let that dry a little bit more. I didn't love how this mountain range came out over here, so it was just too wet after dragging this down. So we'll come back to him in a minute. All right, moving over to our outer space, our sky scene. I don't know if it's outer space, just night sky. I'm gonna get my purples, right? And I'm going to add a little bit of black to it today. So everything's getting to be a little darker today. And I'm going to throw in some blues on here. And I'm going to go get a little bit of black for that one. I'm going to start to mix these together. I've got a nice deep blue. I'm going to start putting these around the edges. I'm going to make sure my brush is loaded with water because I want it to blend in. Mix in my purple and my black. Get a nice deep purple. Again, loaded with water. All right, maybe I need some more purples in here. So we're darkening up today, right? I'm creating kind of this edge part because as we see the sky, we have these like nice dark edges, and then we have all these beautiful colors that radiate through as we're looking up at the sky. All right, keep some of these purples in here from before. I don't want to lose them all to dark blacks and blues. Lots of water. You'll see I keep dipping. Dip, dip, bringing lots of water in here to help it blend with what I have from yesterday. Filling in some more spaces. So this part you're just going to kind of keep playing with until you get more darks for our night sky. Throw this into the black. Again, if you get too many puddles, you can dab them up with a paper towel. Let me grab myself a paper towel. There we go. And just a few little puddles I have, nothing big. And I'm going to move on from that one. We'll come back in a little bit and add some more if we need. Okay, koi fish, here we go. Today, instead of our water being the wet part, we're going to wash our fish. So, water going in, just do one fish at a time. Just getting my fish filled in with water. Now I'm going to come over here, koi fish. Red, orange, whites. I'm going to put some orange over here. Watch that bleed in. But don't forget to leave some white areas for your koi fish. We get a little bit of red. Some over here and over there. Maybe a little in the tail. A little on the fin. And then I think I'm going to leave that guy alone. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add water onto this fish. And there was a couple spots my blue ocean got, or my blue water got into the fish. That's okay. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow going in this guy here, so that when I add in my orange, I get like more of a lighter. There we go. Maybe his tail. I'm going to get just a touch of red to put up in here, and I don't want to lose all the white. Right, I'm getting close to like running out of white in here. Throw another dab over there. Now I can go over the parts of my picture that are dry, and I can fix up any spots that might need adjusting. So just a little bit of water this time, a little bit of blue, and I can come around. Ooh, nope, that's going into my fish too much. I crossed over the line, so let's wait on that. Sorry about that. Let me just dab that up. Dab, dab, dab. So when you make a mistake in watercolor, if it's still wet like that, you can just clean it up. Put a little more orange over here. We'll come back when that's dry in a minute and fix up the edges. Okay, moving along. Back to our green. Should be fairly dry to the touch. So if I want to come back in here with a little bit of green, I can, and maybe a little bit of black. A little bit of green and a little bit of black. I can touch up my mountain edge. That's bothering me, that it's not a little sharper. There we go. Right, I don't want it to be a coloring book. It was pretty dark, so I just added a little bit more water. Just fixing that edge that kind of got too fuzzy because it was wet before. Okay. All right, there's my mountain ranges. We're gonna add in a couple trees today. So I'm gonna come over here and get my dark greeny black color again. Get more green. And I'm gonna lay in a couple of trees. So what I want you to put in is evergreen trees. We're gonna have some happy little trees. And I'm gonna put in a line like this. And then just do. Some little lines that go, start smaller and get wider as we go through. All right, I can come back in with my water and soften them up. Oops, smudging my fish while I'm working. Gotta be careful with your arm or you'll do what I was doing. All right, bring this up so I have a top to my tree. Just going back over lightly with some water on my brush. I'm not even adding more paint. All right, then I'm gonna throw in a little shorter tree over here, like maybe we just only see this much of it. Same thing, just the lines slowly get longer. They're not perfect because trees are not a perfect shape. They are these lovely blobby guys. So filling that part in. Maybe I have a tree over here that you only see part of. All right, that one's getting a little darker, so that means it's closer to me. If I don't like that, right, I can always use some more water and lighten that up. Anything you want lighter, just dab it with a paper towel, take some of the color out. And just playing around with our trees here today. So I'm gonna stop with just those couple trees. And now I'm going to move on back to my orange painting. Again, this one's very similar, so I'm gonna go back over here and have my orange and brown. Get some more brown. Maybe I'll toss in just a titch of black. Darken it up just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm gonna throw in some more orange. Okay, once you get the color you're gonna want, we're gonna throw in some trees again. So, I don't know, maybe I'll put a big tree over on this side. There we go, got myself a little tree happening. Need a little bit more brown. All right, I can come back over and throw in some tree bits, but remember, we're not done yet. This is just our second layer here. Okay, get some more over here. Maybe I want another little tree on this side. I'm gonna go skinnier, a little more, less branches for this one. Throw in some more orange. I want it to be nice and bright. I'm losing my tree in here. There we go. Right, I'm keeping the lights so that you can tell that this is definitely sunset-y time. Just some happy little trees. Okay. All right, so we've got two trees going on here. I'm gonna go back to my sky. So rotating, we just keep waiting for things to dry is basically the idea. I'm getting closer to dry, so now I can come in and add in more blues and purples and dark blacks where it's gonna need to darken up some more. Use a really wet brush. I just keep dipping back into the water. Lots of water, blend it in. Let some more spots darken up. Pushing the paint around. More black. Getting those edges real dark. Because every time it dries a little lighter than you have on your paper. All right. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of water on the edges just to soften those up so they don't feel harsh as it dries. Let it blend in and around. You can see I've got a lot of water on here. So, paper towel time. Just come in and dab up any puddles. But I left all this nice lighter stuff to still fill in the sky. So it's not just one color.